Hey, folks. Thank you again for joining us for another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today we're on reflection tweet.
Yeah. Do it too much.
So we're trying to, and the book is The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
I had to read The Art of War. Have you read this book?
I have. I read the condensed version of it.
Really? I didn't know. I thought it was like I didn't realize there was a bigger book. Is there more? I thought it was only that small one.
No, it's a translated one, right? So his book that he wrote originally, it's a long book. It's actually The Art of War with all the details and everything else. And so what we're reading is more like a summary of all the points that he mentioned.
Interesting. Well, I did not know that.
Bible.
I did not know that at all. Honestly, I thought it was the one on Amazon. You know, it says it's 68 pages. I thought that was the one I read. It wasn't a long book. I was like, what?
Like you say, it's 68 pages.
I didn't know that.
A lot of generals are like covering this among multiple years.
384 is how many pages. I didn't realize there was I had no idea there was another actual longer version of this. Oh, well, maybe my opinion would be different on this because it was, I thought it sucked. Like, so yeah, what's your thoughts on this book? I mean, do you like it?
I do. I think I've also read a short version as well, because there is a long version, which is the original one is very long. But I'm just saying is a lot of the strategies and tactics that he mentions are essentially psychology, just psychology in general, and psychology about whether or not you want to make yourself bigger than you look, and you have to take in the account of a lot of psychological human nature that
sure. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying the tips and strategies and topics talked about it in the book were bad by any means. I mean, I think they were good advice, you know.
I think one other thing that I probably don't like by the book, there's a lot of lessons, but it left out on a cohesive usage.
Okay.
What the whole thing is about and how you orchestrate all these tactics together, right? So he presents you, these are the options, but I have these tools in my arsenal, but how do I use it? When I use it, how do I put them together? How do I mix and match? Right? So you can say, hey, here is an arsenal of weapons you can use to defeat the enemy. Right. But at the same time, it's isolated, and so this is what you do in this situation, blah blah. But as a whole strategy, how do I use of it? How do I get all these things to work together? You know what I mean? So that to me is a miss in terms of what I get from the book. So that's why to me the book is good, but it's not what I would expect from him. Well, I don't know if they translated correctly, but I'm kind of disappointed in the book in a way.
Everybody quotes The Art of War, and I was like, I've read The War of Art. I thought that was a good book too. But
right.
The Art of War, everybody quotes, The Art of War, right?
And I was Sun Tzu once said, blah blah blah. How about the overarching strategies of how do I get my army to be the greatest army in the world?
I'm going to take it to I'm going to go that level and then one level higher, right? Because that's exactly what my reflection is about. So if you've ever read this book, each chapter starts off with Sun Tzu said, blah, 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 right? Well, my reflection title is a little pun on that. It's like what Sun Tzu forgot to say. And this is kind of in line with what you're saying, right? All these strategies are great in the book. If I'm in a war and I ever find myself in a war, like I think, and this particular situation comes up, I'll go run for my bookshelf and try to see what did Sun Tzu say.
Right. It's like a book of, let's say a book of medicine, right? Oh, you got a cold. Let's flip over to the cold section and say, okay, how do you make a cold compress or a flu bomb or whatever it is? Right?
Health is such a good example to give with this, because who gives a shit if you're trying to combat strategies and tactics on how to combat disease and live longer? If what's the point of living longer? Like, are you enjoying your life or not? Like, who gives a shit? So this is where I'm going with The Art of War, right? Definitely in my wheelhouse right now of where I'm going with this. So what, I think probably the best advice that I got from this book was, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, then you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And I totally agree with that. But what he never said was, why were we at war anyway in the first place? Why was Sun Tzu fighting? What was the point of the battle, right? Like, never, ever, ever was mentioned at all in this entire book. If the chances of you just magically popping into a war and being like, oh, we're at war, like, I don't know, and I don't know what to do, like, are an impossibility, right? Like you don't just go to war, like a literal war, or even just a metaphorical war in other areas where it just pops out of the blue, where you're like one day you're just peacefully walking along with a little bluebird on your shoulder, whistling at the sun, and then all of a sudden you're like war, it's not, that's not how this works, right? There's always a buildup to an epic clash between two people that are fighting for something, right? And what Sun Tzu never said was, why are we at war? What is the purpose of this, right? And for me, like, purpose is everything, right? Like, I mean, it really is. It reminds me back to the book of 1776 when we did a long time ago. I think it was Reflection 80, right? And I wrote, purpose always prevails in the end, because like the Revolutionary War is a perfect example of that. The British gave no fucks about, the American colonies. I mean, they kind of did, but the soldiers that were here, they're like, I don't really care. I'm just kind of here. Like, we cared a lot about our principles, our right for liberty, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We had a purpose for that fight, and we knew why we were fighting, and we knew what was in it. Now, that's great. If you have a purpose, I don't care how many soldiers you have. I don't care what mountains and hills and land and seas and whatever other strategies you want to deploy against somebody. I don't care how tactical you want to be. Like, when he who has a why can overcome anyhow. We've learned that from Man's Search for Meaning, right? Like, so it's this whole book is a worthless piece of crap, in my opinion, because he never talks about purpose. Like, and purpose is everything, right? Like, it otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of trying to be healthy and be a centenarian if you're fucking miserable and hate your life? Like, what's the point of trying to hold on to the American colonies if you're Britain, if you don't really give a shit about it? You're like, I don't really care. What's the point of fighting if you're Jordan Peterson, when you're just trying to tell all the transgender people in the world that they're stupid idiots and mentally deranged, when you really don't care. Like, I mean, he really doesn't care. He just wants to make people feel stupid, and that's kind of his purpose, I guess, if you will. And he does a good job with that, but his purpose is not to actually stop, ideology from spreading in any way, shape, or form. He's just really trying to be a shithead, and here's the thing, is like, when you're just trying to be a shithead and you're just trying to deploy tactics and strategies to fuck with people, if you don't have a very clear purpose, you will stop. You will quit. There's no way that you're going to keep going. Like, not every strategy is ever going to work. And that's why I really thought this book was garbage, because what Sun Tzu didn't say was, what's the purpose? Why are we fighting? And that's the only thing you really need to know, right? If everybody believes what you're fighting for, I'm pretty confident that will win. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I can't disagree with that from a perspective of a war. You're giving your life for a cause. And for a lot of times, if you're fighting for something you believe in, how can you wholeheartedly give 100% of your effort? If you think about purpose in a way, it is the multiplier of tactics.
Yeah.
And these tactics do give you an advantage only if the other person don't employ and exploit your disadvantages. So, like you say, it's crap if you employ a tactic from Sun Tzu, but the other guys are not falling for it, and the other guys aren't gullible to not use some other tactic of their own. So you can't rely on Sun Tzu's book as a Bible to say, "Hey, I'm going to become the best general ever." That's not going to happen.
Right. It's like reading a managerial book and being like, oh, now I know how to lead a team. It's like reading a book on coding and going, oh, now I know how to code.
It's garbage if you have a tool but you don't know how to use it. I give you a machine, right? I send you a machine, but there's no instruction. There's no way you use it. What's the point of having it, right? And to me, in a way, most of the time, if you don't really understand the underlying purpose of the machine, for one, then you're going to use it the wrong way. Let's say somebody a weapon, right? Imagine you're a kid, right? Imagine you're 5 years old and I send you a gun, right? It's a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It's an advantage, but it's also a disadvantage that you're going to shoot your own foot just because you're an idiot, right? So that's for one, like the purpose of the object. And it's also the purpose of the overall strategy of the overall soldier in itself, because the purpose of that of the soldier, because you think about the purpose of the soldier is they're gonna give 100%, more than 100%, and even if you kill them, right? If you have a purpose, an army has a purpose. When you kill one person, the next person is gonna stand up. The next person is stand up. In the war, when there's a purpose, right? There's 5 there's 5 brothers in the war, and like the 5 brothers in the household. The first brother is gonna go, and then if the first brother died, the second guy is gonna take over. And the third guy and the fourth guy, and it's continuing. You cannot kill it. It's like weed. When a country, when an army has a purpose, it's like weed. You cannot kill it. You cannot kill it. You can burn the whole fucking field, and it still go back. And that's the power of purpose. Purpose is so powerful, and that's why I
It's
could
the
not
most
disagree.
powerful tactic and strategy. I mean,
it
like
is
it is the
most
only
powerful.
strategy. It's the only way that you find the only way that a book like Sun Tzu's book becomes valuable is in the hands of somebody that has a purpose, because then they're going, oh, okay, I struck out here. I'm going to go seek out some source of information or something to continue on, because I'm not giving up. And I know I'm not giving up because I'm going for something that's greater than me. Or you give this book to some idiot that just wants to read it, like, and then they're like,
yeah,
oh, cool.
because
I mean,
I imagine that you need to do something. Okay, you have something that you desire. So, for example, we take a health example. I love this life. I need to enjoy the life that I want. And when I'm sick, I'm gonna find all avenues to figure out how to cure myself of certain things. But if you're sick but you don't have a miserable life, you say, well, I care. If I die, I die, right? So that's the thing. It's something with the war is, I mean, I can't disagree with you, because at the end of the day, without a purpose, these things means nothing. And so I think
it means less than nothing. Honestly, it's worthless.
Well, like, yeah, I agree. It means less than nothing, because in the analogy I give you, if I give you a gun but you don't know how to use it, more probable that you're gonna shoot yourself versus using it to defend yourself,
Sure.
right? And so you're gonna use this tactic and use it the wrong way, and people say, "Hey, he's using this tactic." I recognize it, so I'm gonna trap him by pretend to be trapped. Then he gets into my trap. You know what I'm saying? So you are gullible enough to get yourself into trouble just because you think you have this tactic. So without knowing, without understanding why you're fighting for, and understanding what these things do for you, these are tactics. But anyone who can get a hand on the book doesn't make him or her a great general. It has to come from a person that's already a great general, understands the elements of war, understands the emotions and psychologies of the soldiers and the reason why war people fight. In that capable hands, then these tactics will assist and enhance that person's capabilities.
Agreed.
Right. And so I think to me, this is probably the most disappointment in terms of reading this book, just because this is a bunch of list of, hey,
what's so disappointing is that so many people quote this shit all the time and just go, oh, well, here's the tag. Like
but the thing is that well, that's what people do, though. People, like I said,
I know,
to me,
it's so empty.
the thing that grinds my gears is what people regurgitate, what they don't understand.
Exactly.
They go and regurgitate about the why. Let's say they saw something about summons the next
I'm on the Peloton and the crazy
What's
lady.
Your why?
What's your why? What's your purpose? Like, why are you here today? And I'm like, I just want to fucking ride a Peloton, lady. Like,
and they say, hey, why aren't you putting a tent in the universe?
Right,
why are you here? Right? You go and you look for like quotes or tweets from like people. It's like a bunch of nonsense. I just don't understand what these things are, because I don't know the underlying story. But I would gander to guess that the guy who put them on these, tweets or social media, he doesn't understand it either. He just regurgitates a bunch of things, right? When you quote Sun Tzu, or you quote Elon Musk, or you quote Albert Einstein, or you quote like Benjamin Franklin or Steve Jobs, whatever. I mean, to me, it's like, at least try to understand what it is before you say, oh, it sounds good, and put them out there, right? Because when you tell me, about the dead universe, I say, what does that mean?
No, it's not even just that. Like, it's you take a tiny little bit of a nugget. You read a story like The Art of War, and then you apply it to your purpose, right? But like, the whole point of why we're even having this conversation is the nugget that I took out of this was, if you don't have a purpose, this is fucking irrelevant. So maybe if I ever find myself back at war and my purpose somehow aligns to that war, and like I have to go fight that war, then maybe I'll come back to this book and I'll have like 10 lessons where I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I agree with him here. I don't agree with him here because we aren't giving the fuck up, right? Like, because I got to get through this thing that is blocking me, right? That is not what's happening in this book. Me reading this book is trying to take anything out of it is exactly like what you're saying. Is like,
Right,
that's just
like I say, this book, like I say, it's been written by this general, right? He's the greatest general of,
allegedly.
right, allegedly,
right.
the
We don't
greatest
even know who he
general,
is, you know.
and everybody is coveting this book, and
Right.
they trying to find it so they can become the great general. But it went into a lot of people's hands, but that doesn't make these people great general because, for one, when they read the book, they don't understand how to use it, even though it's written in plain English. Because the thing is, it's not about one or two tactics that you use. It's about how do I orchestrate all these tools and all these tactics together as an overarching strategy, right? That is the genius. It means that it is going to enhance the general who already are a good general, a great general. And
Right.
that any other general, it doesn't make him a better general. It probably make him a worse general because he doesn't understand what is written.
Have you ever seen the website Masterclass?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay, you can pick anything on here. If somebody, when I was 5 years old, gave me a racket, a tennis ball, and tennis shoes, and put me on a tennis court, and they said, "Here you go. Now watch this video of Serena Williams playing tennis. Here she is. Here's every tip that Serena Williams could ever give you. She's the best female tennis player of all time. You know, won more majors than anybody else but Novak Djokovic and Margaret Court at this point in time." You're like,
But don't you need her build to win?
what you need is her purpose, her drive, her reason that she fought every single day to try to get better. You can't recreate that. My point is, like, you can't recreate anyone, right?
In the whole entire history of humanity, there's no single person is identical to the next.
You only need a tactic when you need a tactic, right? Like, you can't just be given all the tactics. You have to hit a roadblock on your purpose and on your path and go, I need to figure this out now, right? That's how you level up, if you will. Oh my God, I figured this out. I hit a roadblock. I got to go figure this out, right? Like, that's when you go find another tactic or a strategy that applies to the problem that you are facing, that is aligning to your purpose of why you want to be good at something or not. If you ask me today, hey, Chris, how could you set up a world-class business development machine? Oh, here you go. Just do this, this, and this. And then somebody's like, well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Just do all that, and you'll have a world-class lead generation engine, and vice versa on your end. Like, you could say, hey, True, what, I want to be a world-class coder. How do I set up a world-class, DevOps team or whatever the fuck? I don't even know what you guys call your shit over there. You know what I mean? But like, oh, well, here you go. Here, what would you say? I mean, like, here's the strategies and tactics you need to do. Right. That's exactly the point. The fucking driving purpose is in something that it literally attaches to your values and keeps you engaged in this all day, every day, and wanting to problem solve and fight through stuff, for the next 20 years of your life. That's what you need, and they're going to go, what? That isn't an answer. I know it's not an answer, because Sun Tzu, can't give you that fucking answer. Like, it's not, this is the worst how-to book I've ever read in my life. I mean, besides that, it's irrelevant. What do you do when a fucking nuclear weapon, Sun Tzu? What does Sun Tzu say about nuclear bombs? What does Sun Tzu say about, drone strikes? What does Sun Tzu say about,
well, you do this. Please,
right.
my sin.
I mean, his tactics and strategies are relevant anyway, like at a certain point in time. These aren't.
The thing is, this is the sad reality of things. Is people don't understand shit, and they claim to understand just because they say, "Well, I can learn from Sun Tzu. I take the art of war and I can put it into business." Right? Okay. Well, does that equate? Right? You say, well, I don't know. This sounds good, right? But
it does not.
Until you can recreate, because the thing is, a lot of time people, what they do is they take something else as credit for something they think is the reason. Because, like, you talk about, like, for example, a placebo, right? They say, hey, I took this drug and it worked. It's probably because your body just naturally, cure itself of whatever. So
right.
This is another thing that I like what Taleb was saying is, a lot of people don't understand that, hey, when you don't understand the reason something happened, you make arbitrary conclusions as to why something works. And say, well, most likely, let's say you have stomachache, right? It could be, yeah. Or it could be a coincidence. But that's the thing, is people don't understand. So they say, hey, I take this Sun Tzu's tactics and I apply it to my business, to life, and this is what happened, right? The thing is, no one knows. But that's what you do is you base your life on these false assumptions, this false, I don't know what you call it, but it's a foundation of lies,
Yeah,
right?
you sleep on a bed of lies.
But I'm saying is the sad reality is people are doing that over and over again, and it gets to the point where it is so
Throwing up lies.
ridiculous, right? That people have taking things and not even taking the whole thing. Like they take, like for example, we're talking about the saying people say, blood is thicker than water, right? They took that and they use it wrong because it's not even the original intent or meaning of what that phrase means. For
Right.
example, people say, hey, these two guys say about people must damn, right? And they do something completely opposite of the original meaning of what it means.
Right.
Same thing with a, hey, the auto runner downhill, for example, right? Well, I'm so they literally take something and they turn it into something else without
Yep.
understanding the meaning of it.
Rule, like
10,000 hour rule, and they
like
just
what the
chop
fuck is
off
it? Yeah.
pieces and just
Yeah.
it just regurgitate everything out, just like as if they are like these those birds that
Parrot.
we
Parrot.
the parrots, right? They just regurgitate what you say, and
Right.
they keep going. And they just,
Parrot. Yeah.
to me, that's sad though because you're not of your own, and if you're not of your own, you will have a miserable life because you can enjoy a life that you don't want. To me, that's a premise of life. It's like if you're a beaver, you can't say, okay, I want to be something else because they're gonna. And that's like things that you do, like
Like
the work that you do, right? The work that you do today, right? If you don't like it, it makes you frustrated. It makes you really, like emotionally stressed in a way. And so
yeah.
that's what I'm saying is when you are not made to do certain things, and when you do things that is not within your realm of capabilities,
Sun
it
Tzu actually said this one very well. If you know yourself, which is what you're saying, you have to
mhm.
know yourself. Like you have to know your purpose, what you care about, what you don't care about. How does this information align to you, not align to you? How do you take this, put this in your memory palace and block everything else out, right? How do you do this? And then how do you then go study if you do have an enemy that's blocking you, like how do you study that? How do you understand that? How do you overcome that, right? But this goes back to this is all about purpose and direction, right? Like you have to understand yourself to do anything, to go anywhere. Like tactics and strategies are fucking worthless, if you don't understand why you're trying to do what you're trying to do and how that is going to impact you or not. Like if you're a beaver, like you said, and a beaver must dam, like you definitely don't want to be trying to, learn tactics and strategies of eagles flying around and how they protect their babies.
You can't adapt a strategies of an eagle when you're a beaver, right? You have to know yourself. Let's say you're a beaver and you are favorable and advantages in the water, right? Then the tactic and strategy has to be within your own capabilities.
Right.
Versus, hey, I'm gonna somehow get into the air and flap my wing like an eagle and employ the 30,000 foot view of a bird's view eagle strategy and whatever that means. And that's completely useless. And to me, it's even impossible
Right.
for you to even try to be like an eagle. And ducks can go to eagle school. You you
It
you,
is.
you just can't take things out of context.
It is so easy when you don't know yourself, like you said, to take input from somebody else and go, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna go that way. And then, oh, the next person tells you, oh, I'm gonna go that way. Then you're just all over the fucking place. And you're all
Then
over
you
the
know
fucking
where.
place.
And
Yeah.
when you're everywhere,
It kind of reminds me of the situation I was telling you about at work before this call that I was like, I don't really want to talk about it. And I'm not going to talk about it here. The perfect example is this person's trying to throw me off. I know myself and I
Mhm.
know what I'm trying to do. And this person is literally trying to actively divert me. It's like a little buzzing fly, and a part of me just wants to literally just smack him across the room. But at the same time, like I can't catch him. And that's fine. I'm not going to let him divert me from where I'm going. Like I could easily just go, all right, that's it. I got to go fight this fucking fly. No, you don't. Like the fly is going to be fine. It's like the bull in the china shop analogy from Homo Deus, where he says a fly can't go into a china shop and do pretty much any damage at all, right? But a fly can piss off a bull and in a china shop and get them to go do all your damage for you.
And this is exactly, applicable to the if you know yourself,
Right.
you're a bull, and you know your enemy, the fly, right? And the bull say, well, I don't need to be bothered by this fly. It can't do anything to me. Yeah, it
Right.
annoys me, but I don't have to go completely destroy the shop just because of this fly. You cannot change my desire, my goal, just because the fly annoys me. And
Right.
that's when a bull say, I'm a bull, right? And you're a fly. That perspective says a lot. And when you understand those dynamics, then the bull can be calm, can be patient, and be collective. And then whenever it can devise strategies that fit it, is fitting for that situation, whether, he probably get, to smack the fly with his tail,
Or maybe he plays with the fly, maybe, and like learning how to, or maybe he just sits down and has a cup of tea, maybe that was how bowls with tea ended up, like you start to see, I'm kidding, like obviously,
or you give the fly some honey,
or he gives him some money. Maybe he goes and gets him a snack, and he's
like,
like, "Hey,
I
there you go,
have some
fly!"
honey
Like,
for you, fly, and then
go,
get stuck.
all right,
and the boy say, smack.
right.
You think
Yeah,
about it. So thing is, the bull give the fly some honey. The bull gets the fly exactly where the bull wants it,
right.
getting the bull to become angry and kick the shit out of the china
Just
shop.
distracted. Like, I mean,
What I'm saying is, when you understand the dynamic, the bull can easily turn the tide without having to do anything, and the result you see is a complete different, because you see chaos, and the fly wins. From the little fly, it's able to get this bull to completely destroy the shop. Or on the other hand, the bull understands, hey, I'm a bull, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, right? And the fly's doing this, right? I can just give him some honey, and then when he gets stuck in the honey, I can just smack it.
This is what's going on with Israel right now and Hamas, right? Like, I mean, Hamas is a little tiny fly, and it provoked a bull, and now that bull's they're getting exactly what they wanted to. Like, they're gonna go in, they're gonna fuck some shit up.
First, the first things first is
they're about to go to war. This is applicable for the art of war, right?
But I'm saying is, like you agree with you. The first thing you have to do is you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. Right. That's the first thing. That's by far the most important thing of all. You have to know yourself. Who are you? What kind of, what is your character? What is that as a person, as an individual, as an entity, as a nation,
culture,
as a culture, whatever? You have to know what is this entity, right? Mm-hmm. Who am I? What am I doing? What is my purpose? Why do I exist? The real reason why I exist, not some bullshit stuff like, right, back at 10 in the universe, because what else are you gonna do, right? If you don't have anything else, then don't do anything else. You don't have to pick one. It's like, oh, you have to pick one. Say, fuck you. I don't need to pick one. If I don't want it, why would I pick one? To me, the answer just doesn't sound like logical. Hey, what else are you gonna do? It's like, I don't have to do anything. If I don't want to, why would I need to go and stress myself to put that in the universe because there's nothing else to do? If I want to put that in the universe because there's a reason why I want to do it, great, do it. No one's gonna stop you. Good for you. But that's the thing, is you have to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you can do things that is aligning with who you are, and it's going to be optimal in the action that you take. But if you don't know how you are, and other people can control that, just like the fly can control a bull, because the bull doesn't understand the dynamics of the fly versus bull, and so the fly can get the bull to destroy the china shop. But if the bull understands himself, and because he understands himself, he can use that as a reference. Look, at there's some fly that comes in. Do I need to go and chase this thing and destroy the shop? Because if you don't do that, the emotions in a perspective is used the wrong way, right?
Yeah, I mean, what would happen if Israel right now just was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to play. Like, we just want to. Our purpose is to have a nation state that exists for. I'm just guessing because I'm not
because
Jewish
I'm it aligns to who you are or who you think you are. Because if you don't have that, live by what people think of you.
Yep.
Right? Because they say, well, Israel needs to go to war with Hamas because the world expects you to. Right? Because you don't establish the character for yourself. If you don't do that, then
what's the point of Israel?
Like, the world will expect you. The world will expect you to act in their own accordance, right? According to the world. And if you don't,
it's a bunch of noise.
You get pushed.
It's a bunch of noise.
The U.S. or the United Nations or the European will push you to do things they expect you to do. A lot of noise. But if you already establish yourself as a certain culture, a certain nation state, even if somebody nudges you, you say, well, this is not who I am, then they don't continue to nudge you. Just because like it's established to you that I don't do things for peer pressure. Like people can pressure me and they stop. I mean, they don't even try. Just like I
Yeah,
don't
no.
drink, right?
Right.
I don't drink alcohol at all.
Yeah.
And in Asian culture, it's like it is very, very impolite and actually very rude to not accept drinks from an elder. They, for whatever reason, they want you to drink and they just hand you a cup and you can't
Right.
refuse, right? Even if it's to kill you, even if it kills you, you should drink. But the thing is, I don't drink. If you establish yourself that way, they don't even offer.
Right.
Act in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So
I have a lot of really close friends back in college that smoked weed all the time, like every day, all day long, like 5 times a day. But every single time I'd be around them, they're like, "Hey, you want to smoke some weed?" These were people that I met when I was a freshman in college or something like that in the dorms. And every single time I was around them, which was regularly, they're like, "Hey, you want to smoke some weed?" And 6 months that I knew them. After 6 months, I'm like, "No, I don't smoke weed. Like, I don't want to. Like, I have no desire to."
yeah,
But
but then
like 6 months
and that's the
later,
thing. And that's the thing is
stop
when I go
asking.
to any parties now, it's like everybody that's there, like
Right.
anybody who's new who wants to go and give me a beer, they all intervene on my
Yeah,
behalf.
like,
Hey, he doesn't drink.
sure doesn't.
I
Yeah,
don't, I don't
Chris doesn't
know.
smoke weed. Don't even ask him. Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
You know?
so I
Yeah.
don't do anything anymore,
Right.
right? Because everybody I know around me expects who know who
Ah,
I am, so they actually intervene on my behalf.
right. But there's the one time that you do have a glass of wine or whatever, everybody's like, "Oh, Drew's gonna have a glass of wine." The one time that I would smoke weed with them, it was once a year maybe or something like that. And yeah, it's like a big occasion to celebrate. And I was like, "Oh, all right, fine, we'll have some fun." And I didn't like it. That's why I don't do drugs. Like I've never been somebody that does drugs. I hate drugs. Like it's every single time that I've ever, besides drinking, like for substance, like that I've ever enjoyed at all, it was alcohol. Like everything else was like I can't stand it. There's no appeal to me, and like I don't want to deal with it. So I just didn't, and I just made that known to everybody, and then that's that. Like I mean, like it's like they'll stop asking, like you said, like if you know who you are. Otherwise, it's a lot
Know
of
who you are,
right.
know who you are, and then exudes the character of who you are. Like be authentic, right? Because the thing is, and I say I know who I am, but then I pretend to be someone else. And I say I don't drink, but then I say, hey, I'm the best drinker in the world.
Right.
What do you think of that happen when I give the impression that I'm a drinker, right? I say I wear a shirt, I drink five, I drink before
Jaeger
blah blah
bombs
blah,
all day.
right?
Like you have like
Whatever, right? I mean, it doesn't
it's
work.
like you.
The thing is, a lot of time it helps a lot to exude your authentic self. Like this is who I know yourself and exude authentic self. Like I say, when I go to any parties in any Asian culture parties, like everybody knows who I am and everybody knows me in those scenario. And any newcomers comes and even attempt to do that, they probably get cut off by other people before it even gets to me. So there's no moment that I have to disappoint somebody.
Right. Well, but that you don't have to fear the results of 100 battles. Is like because you know what the results are going to be if you know why you're doing what you're doing and you're able to do that. Like I think it's the moral of this whole entire reflection story is like, fine, if you want to go to battle, go to battle. But if you find yourself at battle and you don't know why you're at battle, then leave. Like now,
Just
like,
don't.
I mean,
Just don't. Just engage.
just
Don't
don't.
engage.
It's not even worth it.
Like
Don't,
like I
yeah.
say, if you don't know why you exist, doesn't mean you have to pick something to do.
Right. Exactly. Like you could just hang
That's
out and do
that's
some
just
stuff
silly,
until
right?
you
That's
figure
just
it out.
absurd. That's what I'm saying is, I just don't understand why people say, "Oh, it sounds good. Let's put it that in the fucking universe," just because
Right.
it's like, okay, is that who am I supposed to be? Right. The question is, who am I supposed to be? Is that how do I put it in the universe?
Steve Jobs did, and I guess
But
they
that's
think
Steve
that
Jobs' live.
it's funny. It's funny. Steve Jobs said, put a dent in the universe. Steve Jobs said, be a
Sun
dick to
Tzu
everybody
said,
that's around you. Right. Yeah. Elon Musk said, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. Benjamin Franklin said, I don't I actually don't even know what Benjamin Franklin said. But the point, like, who cares? Like about
and
quoting.
a lot of people quote people without even know who said it. Like Einstein never said that. Benjamin Franklin never said that. Lincoln
Right.
never said that. It's
That's actually
a bunch of lies.
that's actually I've heard the story behind the 10,000 hour rule story is like, where'd that come from? Like nobody knows. Like I don't know. Like I don't know who people say it's Malcolm Gladwell, someone Erickson, someone. So where did that come from? Like
Marcus Gladwell got it from somebody, and somebody got it from somebody, and over the years, just like you start daisy chain this gossip, right? You have this
now it's
one
ubiquitous.
gossip, it's like, hey, this person dropped the dropped the bowl, right? And then suddenly over here, somebody having a affair. It's like,
Well,
where the fuck would that come from?
And then it gets down to some dad that has a kid that's 5 years old, and he's like, and he wants him to be a professional baseball player, and he's like, 10,000 hour rule. We got to get you in there for 10,000 hours. That's the tactic. That's the strategy. And you're like, if you do this, you'll be a pro. That isn't how it works. Like you said in this book, just because you know how to fight a war, like you think, that does not mean that your son, just because you think you know how to get your son to become a professional athlete, doesn't mean that person wants to be that, and there's some purpose behind it, and that they have some, they have to have some agency in this whole entire thing, right? Like it's not, I don't know. Strategies and tactics are worthless, honestly, unless they are worth their weight in gold.
They are enhancer. They are an enhancer. It cannot be on their own. You have to have already a purpose. You have to be already great at what you do. Yes. You have to be passionate about enjoying the things you do, and these things can enhance it. It doesn't replace anything, because without the vessel, without the ability for it to contain and move on its own, it doesn't work. It cannot attach to something. It's basically, hey, this is the wing, but you have to attach the wing to something. The wing can't exist by itself. So the wing can't just fly, right? You have to attach it to something for the wings to work, for it to fly. The wing makes you fly, but the wing can't fly on its own.
Awesome. What Chris Sears said is Chris Sears is tired and he needs to go to sleep. So I think Chris Sears is done talking for the night. Any final thoughts for you?
Yeah, I'm done too.
So tired. Once again, able to sustain energy, because these are always fun conversations. As soon as we hit end on this recording, I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to go to bed.
With that said,
good night. The question we can leave for you all is, what are you fighting for? If you know that, then you don't have to fear anything, really, at that point in time. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining, and we will see you on Monday.
Monday. Sounds good. See ya.